Do you think your fame will or is getting to you?
It will inevitably change the way you think about things. That's for sure. But I have a lot of good people around me to give good advice on how to keep things grounded. I think the stream, it's weird to think of it in that terms. I do think of it as in more people are watching the stream. It affects the way the interactions work. It affects the TTS. And it affects... yeah, it affects kind of the dynamic of the chat. So that's what I keep in mind first in terms of like more eyeballs. But like the status stuff is, at least for me, as someone who doesn't like to network or talk to other, not that I don't like to network, sorry. I am bad at it. Like I'm bad at reaching out to people and being like, do you want to do this collaboration? Or like, I scratch your back, you scratch my back, you know, that kind of stuff. My mentality doesn't really change around that because I just kind of try to stay focused on what is immediately in front of me, I think. Also, I know a number of streamers, or by proxy some streamers, and I kind of pick up on what I think would be good or not good for me mentally. So there's that, I think. Let me put it in another way, which is like if you want to become a streamer in the year 2024, streaming has changed so much since 2017, 2018. And I would say the number one thing that's changed about streaming is the streamer and the community's acceptance to pay the streamer money, and the streamer's comfort in asking for money from their community. Basically monetization. Like, I notice so many more streamers get sponsorships, you know, that are based on commission, not commission anyway, or merch sales, doing subathons, doing sub goals. All these things I want to say are good and fair and fine. Like, nothing wrong with that. I think it's good. It's good overall for people, but it definitely, I think, templates streaming into a certain way that people feel like they have to adhere to a certain type of stream or a certain way of streaming. And for example, let's take VTubing, for example. If you want to become a VTuber, you might read a lot of stuff online of like, you need to have a debut, you need to have a model that looks like this, you need to do things in this way, and no one's enforcing it. But when you see a big community of people doing it, you kind of think, okay, there must be something here, right? And in the same way, when like number go up, like I have this experience with YouTube where I look at some stuff I post and I'm like, okay, number needs to go up. What are other people doing? And sometimes when I see what other people are doing, I think, I don't want to do that. Like that's cool. I understand why that works, but I don't want to do that because it's not my job right now, right? And I always anchor on, I want to make sure that I keep the mindset that I am doing exactly what I want to do and not what I feel the algorithm wants, because that is not a real thing. The algorithm does not have a consciousness. The algorithm is not like a living, breathing thing with preferences. The algorithm only reflects the preferences of like whoever you're trying to reach. And with that in mind, you kind of have to have like a lot of faith in your own thing to say like, oh, if I like it, then other people must like it. So I try to stick to that idea where it's like, I'm going to focus on what I think I like and what's interesting and something I want to see, and let the algorithm connect me with other people who think the same way. The fame part, the other side of the coin, is like if you want to be the biggest channel ever, or the other, or you know, the biggest channel ever, or like get the most eyeballs, you definitely play a very, 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 very different game. Which is, there's no shade to that game, but as someone who works like a full-time job, there are parallels to trying to do streaming and content creation full-time, where it's like you have to be performative. Which is like, I'm not saying I'm not performative, but that is to say, like, you have to behave in a certain way and do things a certain way. And then when I think about that, I'm like, okay, then I'm signing up for a second job. So I don't want to do that. So I in my mind, I've the number go up equation is more people are liking the ideas that I'm putting out versus like, I don't want to reshape what I'm doing to like appeal to what I think someone else likes. That's like, if you ask anyone at YouTube, I think they would also agree with that thing as well. Like people at YouTube will post online like, stop thinking about the algorithm, just start thinking about your own thing, because yeah, probably algo slop for them is good, but at the same time they want a more robust ecosystem of people making stuff. When you think about that from YouTube's perspective, is YouTube is crazy, because if you think Twitch is big, it's like nothing. It's like a minnow in the world of the content creation world of YouTube, because YouTube has sustained so many little micro ecosystems of content creators. Like you can have a whole ecosystem of people who do home improvement, plumbing, I don't know, being a cop, being a chef. And on Twitch, it's like, sure, it's diverse, but it's not as diverse as YouTube. So I think that's like a big strength that's a super big strength of YouTube. And I think that only happens because people can kind of feel like they can do things their way and not in an algo slop way. Versus on Twitch, I do feel there is a pressure for a lot of streamers to do things in a way that they think is a certain format. And at the end of the day, that's like not very good in the long run. Anyway, that's a very long answer to your question. But I think it's a good one. I think, in my opinion, okay, no, I need to stop using language like that. I need to be assertive.